Cool. Awesome. Well, have a good day. And thank you.
Hello everybody and welcome. We are live here with Pacific Coast Auto. My name is Derek. You guys know me because I'm the guy on the videos, on these videos, as well as on the regular guy behind the camera type videos that we do on this channel. Welcome to the live stream. I got Mike D here on my side. He is over here. Mike just said, "Oh yeah," but he was coming to the chair as he said that, and so you probably couldn't hear. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Did you have a good weekend?
Oh yeah.
Did you do anything fun?
No, that was just I just wanted to say "oh yeah" again so they could hear it.
Oh.
I did. Oh, I went to Hakone, so that was. Yeah,
Hakone?
Yeah, but I didn't do any driving or any car related stuff.
How did you get there?
Train.
Oh, that's weird.
Took a long time.
What do you do in Hakone when you're not going to go driving around?
Onsen.
Oh, really?
And we did like the Hakone.
Did you get naked in the onsen?
I did.
Completely
naked.
Oh,
yeah.
I have never done that.
No.
I've been here for
really?
12 years and I've never gotten naked in an onsen.
Oh, it's great.
Did you do it in front of other people?
Absolutely.
Did they see your private parts?
They did.
Ah!
In all their glory.
I'm always afraid if I go to an onsen that the Japanese people there would be very curious about what a Westerner looks like below the belt. And so they would be more willing to have a quick peek than if it was just another Japanese dude.
Yeah.
Did you notice anybody?
I think that probably happens. Like, I think it's mostly like, whoa, there's a Western guy in here. What's going on? Why is he waving that thing around? No, I'm just kidding.
I have a tattoo, and so I'm not technically allowed to go.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Do you want to guess what my tattoo is?
I want to guess where and what. Is it safe for work?
Scrolling down. We got 11 people on here, so if we're going to talk about anything embarrassing, we might as well get it over with now, while there's only 11 people watching. It's a tattoo of like the Alvin and the Chipmunks right across my chest. I got Alvin, Simon, and Theodore on my chest.
Sick.
Yeah, it's full color too. Yeah, they're singing the Christmas song, and then there's the
screen?
dad in the background going, "Alvin!" Do you know about Alvin and the Chipmunks, or is this before your time?
I know of them, but I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Somebody has a GT-R tattoo on the left cheek. I'm hoping it's a face tattoo because face tattoos are a thing now.
Oh.
Takashi69 has face tattoos.
I just realized you could probably do like GT-R.
In case you didn't see that, which I know that you didn't see it because there's no camera put on Mike. You did it backwards, so it would be like the mirror image. So I don't know. Let's see. Is that right? GT-R. It's cool, Mike. I think you should start a trend of GTR drivers doing that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like GTO drivers would probably do that.
Oh,
not GTR drivers.
Cheek. Your tattoo, GTR on the left cheek.
Yeah. That is definitely not my tattoo. I don't have Alvin and the Chipmunks. I just tried to think of something that would be a funny tattoo to get, but I wasn't as successful as I thought I would be.
I'd love to see an Alvin.
People have already gotten all the most embarrassing and shocking tattoos. Okay, so let's see who's in the chat. We got Robbie Badesi. Hey guys, I'm here. How are you? I'm fine, thank you, Robbie. Thank you for asking very much. It is Mike's Monday here, even though it's Tuesday in Japan. Mike has Monday off, and so he's struggling with Monday.
Mondays.
Do you struggle with Mondays?
Not really.
Yesterday morning, I was like, yes, it's work time, ready to go. Cause
yeah.
A work day is easier for me than a non-work day with all of my kids and house to take care of and everything. So when it's work time, it's usually a little bit more relaxing than non-work time for me. But I imagine that that's different from most people. Most people prefer weekend to working days. And so I'm the odd one out.
I don't have a case of the Mondays. I just had a rough morning.
I used to when I was a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, because teaching, once it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, your brain is ready for teaching. But if you go a couple of days without it, then you have to get back in the flow of it. And so doing that was, for me, Monday was always a difficult day, but not anymore. Okay, who else do we got here? Hi, I'm from Toronto, says FC3S Roy. Do you drive an RX-7? I actually had as my screen name a car name, but then I changed my car, but then you can't change your car name on some platforms. Like, for example, my name was 20R22R man.
I'm trying to figure out what that means. 20R22?
20R22R man. And then when I didn't have that car anymore, the name doesn't make sense. And these days, the name probably doesn't make very much sense anyway, because people don't know that engine so well. Hello from Montreal, West Side Jat 2, or West Side Jat, don't know. Hello everybody from Luso I Hardware. I can't read words that.
Just stop there.
It's true. Mike doesn't have a car. Mike, do you have a car?
I do not.
No, but Mike has one of the most bitchin' bikes.
And that's how I'm going to describe it from now.
I've been looking for a way to say that. I'm kind of disappointed in myself for stumbling there.
I like it.
Pedro says, hey, John Clark, GT-R tattoo. We already talked about that. Guessing my tattoo. No, I don't have a GT-R tattoo. And now, I got my tattoo when I was 18. I'm 36 now. And had I been 36 at the time, I would not have gotten it. Hallo Kaufmeister. I don't know what Kaufmeister is, but that's still pretty rad. What new vehicles do you got? Hello, we don't really have any new vehicles. We're spending all of our time on our customers instead of buying our own cars or trying to sell them. I have, I think, 3 cars right now that we bought like 3 weeks ago that we haven't even shown everybody. Hello from Vancouver. Whoa! I hate how the chat sometimes skips around when you're scrolling through it. Hello from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We got a logo of something from Theo. Thanks for sending that. Moyai. I don't know what that is. Hi from Quebec. Can believe I made it last time. I got in the last 2 minutes. Yeah, well, we're doing it early this time. Sorry, guys, for doing it early this week. I am doing it early because of Christmas shopping. Actually, I'm going to play hooky a little bit from work here so that I can go shopping and leave all the work for Naoko and Mike. Thank you very much, Naoko and Mike, for making up for me while I'm shopping for people. I'll buy you something. I'll get omiyages.
Ooh.
Mike brought in omiyages today. That's Japanese for, like, what is it? Like a present or a gift?
Yeah, specific from like going somewhere? That's my understanding of it. Like if you go somewhere, yeah.
Naoko?
Yeah, small gift. Yeah.
Naoko, can you buy like an omiyage from the supermarket and bring it into the office, or does it have to be after you go on a trip?
I don't do that. Sometimes some people do that, yeah.
But it would still be considered an omiyage.
Actually, it's not omiyage, but very famous omiyage we can buy anywhere in Japan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right? So.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a gray area there.
I don't do that, but some people.
Naoko's admitting to not buying omiyages for anybody.
For example, if I went somewhere but I didn't have time to buy omiyage,
Put my hand up.
So we can buy.
Like a different one here.
Yeah.
Then maybe you can hear her better.
I see.
The microphone's right next to the lens, so I'm creating sort of like a fake ear to direct the sound in from Naoko's voice.
I get that $6 million man sound.
Okay, so I was watching a stream of this, or like a replay of the stream, and I realized that the sound quality is actually quite poor compared to what I thought it had been. We have like a camera with microphone all in one type thing. Might invest in a new microphone or 2 new microphones and another camera, because we want to get Mike's beautiful face onto the screen. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yeah, with my GT-R face tattoo.
I dare you to permanent ink. Like, it'll come off in a week.
I thought you said permanent. I'm not doing that. There's no way. Oh dear.
Okay, I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker here. All right, hello from Ontario, Canada, where you can't register your JDM cars very easily. Good morning, guys. Hello from Nova Scotia. Super rad. I love Nova Scotia. I love the way that people from Nova Scotia speak. And as I get older, I'm realizing I'm starting to speak more Canadian than I did when I was younger. Someone's sending in some cars. Thank you for sending those in. Okay. But you still have the tattoo 22R, man. I do not have that tattoo. John Clark. Quit spreading rumors about me. My tattoo is super rad. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but just imagine the coolest thing you can imagine, and then that's probably what it is.
Or cooler.
That A70 Supra dude.
Oh.
I wonder if he still has an A70 Supra. He has one in the thumbnail. Avatar, not thumbnail. Okay, we're starting to get some questions here, so thanks for sending the questions in. Yeah, so basically this video is a two-part series. If you've seen it before, you know what's up. We can either check the cars that are at Japanese auctions here, and that's what this screen is for. You can go to the URL down here at the bottom. It says auction.pacificcoasttojdm.com. Ooh, and you can pick. Okay, something weird was going on screen. Yeah, so you can pick what cars that you want. You just log in. It's super easy with the guest account. Log in as guest, password Pacific Coast, press the sign in button, and then you can search for some cars, and we can talk about them over the live stream. I'll translate the Japanese into English for you if you like. And if you have any questions about buying cars from Japan, or the process of buying cars, or basically anything that you want to ask, if you want to ask Mike, as was previously the case in the live chat to go topless, you can ask that. He's already guaranteed everybody that he's not going to do it.
Yeah. Unless you come to an onsen.
No, somebody was like, I'll give you $100 if you do it, and he turned that down too.
Nice.
Yeah, but right, if you go to an onsen, then you can go see Mike not only topless. Would you, Mike, would you go with friends to an onsen?
I have before, yeah.
Was it odd?
For me, yeah, because I'd never done it before, but you get used to it. No one really cares.
Really?
You're all there to sit.
Did you kind of like inconspicuously hide your private parts? Like you didn't want to look like you're hiding your private parts, but just kind of like stand with your butt towards them most of the time and walk like sideways. And that's what I would do. The whole time I would be thinking about don't see my junk, don't see my junk.
Well, everyone's in the same boat, right? Like your junk's out, their junk's out. So, equal playing field? I don't know.
Staring contests.
Yeah. If you see their eyes go down, you're like, hey, eyes up here, buddy.
Oh, I would definitely, so the point of an onsen is to relax.
Yeah.
Right?
It does take, like, a couple of goes until you're fully relaxed, I think. Like, I just don't care. I'm like, whatever. I'm here to have like a nice warm bath, look at scenery, and
scenery.
Wow, that sounded worse than I intended it to.
I had a customer come, and they were at this place that like the monkeys have onsen.
Oh,
you know about that?
Nozawa Onsen around
I don't know the name of it,
yeah,
but
right,
like
okay.
there's like a natural onsen, and the monkeys kind
Yeah.
of like it, and then they like fenced off the area so nobody can go interfere with the monkeys having their onsen, and it's a big tourist thing.
Yeah.
And so they're taking pictures there, and in the background there's an onsen, and there was a guy standing up like this, and he was fully naked, and it was in the picture. They're like, take a look at this picture, and I said, wow, this is a great picture. Look at those monkeys having a bath, and they're like, look at it a little bit closer.
You'll see how great the picture really is.
And that guy, no doubt he was doing that on purpose. He was, because like there's a wall of people taking pictures of the monkeys. Of course he's
like, I'm gonna be famous. Photo bombing.
If anyone else has actually been there and seen that, look at your pictures. You may see a naked old man, and he was like in his 70s too. One of the best pictures. But you don't want to put that online. There was somebody who got in trouble recently for posting a picture of somebody naked that they had taken, and they got in a lot of trouble. Albeit they were being very rude about it. Anyways, yeah, so you can send in your auction cars here. Send us the auction name, auction number, and the name of the car, make, model, that sort of thing. I'll just do a quick search here to see how it's done. So we're going to check for Subaru Imprezas, because everybody likes that. And we only like the GC8, so I'm going to put in here model type, GC8, and do a search. The non-GC8s are great cars, but I just wanted to look for GC8s, and I don't know why the words everybody likes the GC8s came out of my mouth. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up for auction right now. The auctions are weekly, and they're coming up with new cars. We do the stream on Tuesdays, but then Tuesdays are kind of a slow day for auctions. So more cars come up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the USS ones, we can't show you that, so we're not going to do that. And let's have a look here. Anything interesting? This yellow color is quite rare for these. I believe they only made this yellow color for the version 6. And this one being a grade 4.5 makes it quite a rare vehicle. But they got the wrong wheels on it. These aren't the original wheels on this version of the car. The version 6 came with a nicer looking wheel. Which is odd. It's like a lot of Subarus have their original wheels on them, but then some of them... Can we see this whole picture? There we go. Sometimes people switch the wheels out and then they put the winter tires on a set of the original ones or something. What was that, Mike?
That was the link that someone sent in the chat, and it closed everything that I was...
Oh.
Yeah.
That sucks. Okay, so cool looking Impreza. It's the yellow color is weird. It's like a... looks like faded yellow, but the fact that not very many of them were made in this color makes it rare and in some sense sought after. I think if they went with a more brilliant yellow, it would have been a higher seller. Condition wise, the body looks very close to perfect. We have a medium scratch on the front bumper, but it'll be on the lip here. That's the most common places for bumpers to get scratched. And then it's a 1999, which would be the kind of the last year for the version 6. The version 6 was sold into 2000, I think, but not for the full year. Version 6 is the final version of the GC8. It's a one-owner car with 65,000 original kilometers. Fully normal, it says, but not the wheels. But yep, that spoiler is stock. This hood vent is stock. These are stock. I mean, people usually know that the version 6 has the crystal headlights, which I think they started in version 5, or maybe it's exclusive to version 6. I don't know. That's the kind of thing that people in the comments on YouTube are always like, this guy doesn't know anything about cars. He shouldn't be selling cars. A salesperson that doesn't know that the headlights are different between version 5 and version 6 of the Subaru WRX STI. Yeah. Anyways, translation here, console lid is broken. And only some of them have the console. Here's a bit of useless information. This console piece that you can see here, not all of them have that. It's an optional piece. Interior is dirty. Rear spoiler is faded. You can kind of see that in the picture. You can definitely see it in the picture. Exterior has various small scratches and rocker cover underside scratched. That's down here. And so somebody made it turn too tight and then hit a little piece of concrete curb there, most likely. Can happen in parking lots. But a lot of the streets here are very tight. And so when you try to make like a 90-degree turn at a street, you have to do it really close to the edge. And you don't see the little raised up concrete piece, and it's really easy to damage your side skirts in Japan, I think, compared to other countries. A lot of GC8s in New Zealand, Mike.
Yeah, quite a few. I think I've seen a couple of this yellow color as well. I don't know if they only did this color for the version 6.
I don't know. I don't know. If you say things and you're wrong on the internet, there's proof. People can go Google things, and then they can call you an idiot. I don't want to be called an idiot. It's close to Christmas. Everyone needs to be happy.
I agree.
Red seats inside. Oh, it's not. It's just the regular seats with the red siding. Okay, so that's how you do it. You can ask me also anything that you want in the chat, and we'll answer them if Mike thinks it's okay. Mike is the moderator here. He's the boss.
Yikes.
This stream better be good. We're at 58 people. It was at 64. We've gone down 8 people.
Wait, I thought I'm the boss.
Okay, then you say that to me.
Oh.
You're not interesting enough, Derek. If you were funny and cool, people would stay around.
Step it up. We've got we can go through the cars from last week. Do a quick little price.
Okay, boss. What do we got?
We've got the Integra at Mirai, which was 75075.
75075.
Yeah.
I think we already went through these.
Oh, did we?
Is this the silver one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went through
We
it?
talked about these last week.
Oh. Well then. Would you like a new car instead?
Yeah, because that list that you're looking at is last week's list. Because this one went through 2 weeks ago.
Okay. In which case, a new car to get started is Zip Osaka 769. It's a Laurel.
This is this week's car.
It is. Why did I not have it?
Oh! Wow, that is special. I don't know anything about this car, but it is lovely. And the Laurel's always been an inline 6-cylinder, hasn't it? I think this is an L20 engine in this. And rear-wheel drive. That looks really good in the rear quarter here. The front is oddly short. Maybe it is only a 4-cylinder. I think if the front were about 20 centimeters longer, it would be a nicer looking car. But nonetheless, this is great. A 2-door sports coupe with a really nice kind of Coke bottle styling here. A nice fastback window. A short stubby boot. Small chrome bumpers. Cars like this, like 1970s cars, this one being a 1970 exactly, makes it an early 70s car. Japanese cars are just so good. Like, muscle cars are kind of like the definitive car of the 70s, I think, for a lot of people, especially in Canada or the USA. But a lot of them weren't very good cars. They were very high in styling and coolness factor, but drivability, they weren't very good. And Japanese cars, they copied a lot of the American styling. They got the driving down pat a little bit better, probably because of smaller engines, tighter chassis, and better build quality in a lot of cases. I think that this is a car that's probably worth somewhere around well, let's look at the condition first. But I would suspect that this is at least half, if not like less than that, of the Skyline of this generation. And of course the Skyline is a sportier car than the Laurel is, but they're going to share a lot of pieces. The L series engine, L20, L24, L28 engines were pretty common in a lot of the cars from Nissan at that time. And I think that this is a good looking car, and it's going to share a lot of the same things, and at half the price it's going to be a deal. And then this isn't the car that everybody knows about. They can be like, wow, look at that. That is something I haven't seen before, and that's impressive. And I think that especially to a lot of car people who've seen it all and they've seen so many Hakoskas, they never get a chance to see some of the more obscure cars because they usually don't last this long. And so condition-wise, Zip Osaka is a weird auction. It's kind of like become a hot spot for unique, quirky cars, good condition, classic cars. And it's an auction that most people go to view in person when they buy. And so we've bought a few cars there, not very many of them, because they have a big section of like cars that aren't inspected but are still in good condition. And so obviously, because of the way that we do our business, customers don't want to buy cars completely sight unseen. This one has an inspection though, so let's go over it. 1970 Laurel 2000 GX. I don't know, it could be an inline 4-cylinder, it could be an inline 6, because I think Nissan had a 2-liter of both of those at that time. And you'll find a lot of Japanese cars will top out at 2000 cc, because after it gets above that, you start paying higher taxes. And that was a big thing back in the 70s and 80s, and a little bit in the 90s. But like with cars like the Celsior that had a 4000 cc engine, having the bigger engine became like a status symbol, and a lot of the people who had more money could then spend that on the higher registration taxes, and then it became less of an important thing to keep the engine sizes small, especially as the weight of the cars went up. I don't know how heavy this is, but I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere around 1150 kilos or so. So mileage is unknown, and you'll find that a lot on 70s cars because they have 5-digit odometers. Oh, flood damaged car. Oh, that is unfortunate. With such a nice car too. Well, with older cars, one of the nice things is that the interiors are generally pretty simple, and the car as a whole is pretty simple. So salvaging something that has been water damaged isn't as complicated as it would be on a more electronically focused car like nowadays. Modifications to the car. Body looks to be pretty good. The paint has been redone. It says it's original color paint, but I don't know. Maybe it is. But it has been repainted. There's uneven paint on this side and on this side. Paint cracks up here. Paint cracks over here. But it doesn't look too bad for a car from 1970. Oh, never mind. They didn't mention up here that it was color changed. Like the seller didn't say it was color changed, but the auction found that out. So it's a color changed car. Left front power window doesn't work. AC belt is removed. And then AC from the 70s probably doesn't work very well compared to today's cars anyway. Roll down the windows and drive quickly. Trunk, hood, emblem, one part missing. Good luck finding that. Wiper is missing. It's an odd thing to be missing on a car. Underside scratched and dented, seat ripped, steering wheel center cover part missing. We don't have a picture of that. And aftermarket exhaust. And on a car this old, chances are every car is going to have aftermarket exhaust because you can make your own exhaust on any car that you want, but you can't find the original exhaust for one of these cars very easily. So once it rusts out, time to change to a custom one. Yeah, price-wise, I really don't know. It's really all over the place on here. I could see somewhere around $1,000,000 yen, which seems like a deal to me on this compared to a lot of the other classic Nissan cars like the Fairlady or the Skyline. Or even the Silvia from this generation is a very odd-looking car. It's weird that Nissan used to have so many two-door sports coupes because obviously they would cannibalize their own sales, but it worked for them for a little bit. Toyota did the same thing. Very cool car. Who sent this one in? Did you get a name?
I can find it. It was from
John Clark? I see John Clark said, stumped Derek, woohoo! It's not that difficult to stump me. I don't know that much. I think that it can seem that way because I have a lot of information about a lot of cars, but at the same time, there are literally thousands of cars that were ever made in thousands of different specifications.
John Clark is the man.
Thank you, John. You did a good job with sending this one in. I love this car.
I've got a couple questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Importing USDM vehicles back to the USA. So someone asked, is it possible to import a vehicle that was originally, I think they were asking originally for the USA, so like the stickers and everything like that. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Okay. So in Japan, you can import any car from around the world here, and you can register it without that much work to do it. I mean, it's fairly popular. A lot of cars from all over the world, different countries, end up here in some form or another. And the question is, can you take one of those cars that it was originally sold as a brand new car in America, send it to Japan, and then send it back to America before it's 25 years old? And the answer for that is yes, with some contingencies in it, because you have to make sure that that for sure was a car that was originally sold as a brand new car in the States and has all of the compliance labels on it. And usually what you can do is you can take a look. Let's see if we can find something like this. Whoops. So let's find a Cadillac here. Cadillac. Everybody loves the Escalade. Where is it? Okay, so let's just pick one of these, not a USS one. They're all USS. Ha 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 ha. Okay, well, let's not do that. Let's see if we can find an ATS. They're really uncommon here, so no ATS. CTSV. Let's try that. Nope. See, people don't like Cadillacs here unless they're Escalades. Oh. That looked like a station wagon version, but it's not. Okay, so yes, here's the car that everybody wants. It's not crashed. This is just the styling on the car. I like the tape on the hood and the hood gap. You know, for a thing when I was in high school, it used to be a thing to take the hood off of your car and drive it around like that. I don't know why.
That was legal?
I don't think so.
Right.
But
that's cool though.
I mean, small town.
Yeah.
Police. I don't know if they cared. I don't know. People used to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's small town, so people were dumb and they did stupid things. Okay, so having a look at this one here, well, this is a crashed car and they didn't put any, it's been water damage too, flood damage, and crashed. Wow, unfortunate car. Poor guy. At least it's not a very good car. I mean, the CTS isn't a bad car, but they have a tough time competing with other cars that are excellent in the same category. But this one here, if the mileage was in miles instead of kilometers, which they would write on here, then chances are it's a USA version of the car, because people wouldn't be importing US cars from England into Japan, and there are very few other countries that have cars in miles. Then most likely you're okay, but you would still need to have that label inside the door pillar in order to import it into the USA. And if you don't have that, then you can't. And so a lot of, especially when the exchange rate was favorable, companies would import American cars from Canada, so there would be the Canadian version with the odometer already in kilometers per hour, and those ones you can't send into America, even if they're technically exactly the same. And so it is a little bit difficult. Elizabeth says, "Hi Derek, please respond." I'm responding to you right now. I don't know what else I can say, because all I can see is that, "Hi Derek, please respond." I hope you enjoyed your response. Can you check to see if Elizabeth has maybe another question?
Sure.
If you really, really, really want a response, that's what the super chat is for. Obviously, the chat goes through so quickly we can't answer every one of the questions. And if you really want your question answered, that's what the super chat is for. Here I am shilling for myself. Give us money! Do it! Last time I did that, somebody actually did. And so please, it is Christmas. Everybody's...
Get in the spirit and start giving.
I should dress up as Santa with a little sign. Super chats this way, please.
Yeah.
I saw Mike said something. Check this one out. I'm going to check this one out only because Mike is a cool dude.
Ooh.
And he likes the Cherokees for some reason. Cherokees aren't bad, just Mike loves them too much. 4207. I couldn't find it. Oh, never mind. I was looking for a Cadillac Cherokee there. So the Cherokee became somewhat of a cult car here in Japan. I think most likely because of the Americanness, and they sell for more here than they do in other countries. That's why you see more of them here. They're not a good car to buy from auction to export, because most likely you'll be paying more for them in Japan than you can buy them for in another country. Depending on the country, I don't really know. I know in the US that's almost certainly the fact. I think so in Canada as well, but in some countries they might find that these are cheaper in Japan than in their country, but I don't know. I feel like it's the kind of car that you really need to have a good supply network of parts, because they're cars that always need new parts, and Canada and the US has tons of these trucks, so you're like pick and pull type of place, where like a junkyard that you can go grab your own parts from salvaged cars is really good to have. But I can totally see this being the type of car that doesn't really have any of them on the road, and so when it does break down, it would be very expensive to repair it. Style-wise, they're cool. They look extra good lifted. I think all 4x4s are cool, especially when they are in poor condition, because it kind of like suits the character of it. I think Land Cruisers and Jeeps, Cherokee for sure, definitely look good with a little bit of damage on them, or rust. Condition-wise, okay, mileage is unknown on this one. 121,622 kilometers, so this one wouldn't be an original American one. They also sold these as new cars in Japan. And then this one here would probably be a Japanese one because it's right-hand drive. And in Japan, the left-hand drive would be worth more than the right-hand drive ones. 4,000cc inline 6-cylinder. I used to work at a parts shop, and we used to sell a ton of parts for these when I was working there, but I don't really know that much about what are the common problems on them. And I don't want to say I know anything, because Mike knows more than I do, and he knows me personally, and so I'm going to hear about it. Auction grade 3.5, interior C, exterior D. Mileage is unknown. It says front something unknown something. I can't read. Don't know. Bad paint on the roof. Bad paint on the hood. You can kind of see that in the picture. Otherwise, the body is generally pretty clean. It has a medium dent on the door, which shouldn't be too big of a problem. Engine oil leak. Interior dirty. Exterior has, has stains, which is when birds poo on your car. Dashboard has glue marks, seat wrinkles and wear, mirror scratch, exterior small scratches, molding scratch, aftermarket stereo in it. And price wise, let's see, we're starting at 40,000 yen. And I haven't checked the prices of these because we literally have no customers that buy them. And so I don't really know what to expect from this. I can probably guess around 250,000 yen. Maybe. It's cool with the black wheels and the black though. It's cool. Cool Jeeps. Everyone loves Jeeps. Okay, Mike, what are we going to do? We got another question?
Yep. They said, what's the deal with the Vitz in the lot?
Oh, we bought a Toyota Vitz, and it's in our lot.
Woohoo! Next question.
The color is black. It is a 4-door, and it is a TRD version of the car that comes with an original turbocharger and 150 horsepower. And so it is cool that it's a turbo Vitz, because the Vitz is has a different name, like 3 different names. So let's just show what the Vitz is. The Vitz is this car, and then this one is a 2nd generation Vitz. So it looks like this. And this is close to what it is, because the Vitz RS is the sports version. And then this is the Vitz RS TRD Turbo Edition. And we bought the car for inventory to sell it, and then just didn't have time to do anything with it. And so it's just sitting there. I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet. It came in with the bad clutch. And so we sent it to a shop and replaced the clutch on it, so it's a brand new clutch. And a lot of people have been asking about it, but sorry, I don't have any information. Maybe this is what we should do to it. That is actually really cool.
Oh yeah, I like that. Different wheels, but I like.
Or how about this? Yes, the Vitz can wear any body kit and look cool, because the stupider the car, the better it looks when it's modified. Look at that. Look at all these stupid modified cars. Not that the Vitz is a stupid. No, this isn't a real picture. That's a video game. Not that the Vitz is a stupid car, but usually when people think sports cars, they think cars like the RX-7, which are obviously sports cars. But a hot hatch is a very unique type of thing, because it doesn't particularly look like a sports car, but yet you can get them to act like sports cars because they're very light, and in the case of the Vitz, can generally handle pretty well. And yeah, so I think a lot of people enjoy having a hot hatch that can embarrass a faster sports car, and that's something that you may get out of a turbo Vitz. And also, some people like the laugh factor of, I've got a car that is small, and you don't know it, but I can beat you in this small car. And so it's like a
punching above its weight kind of thing, right?
It is punching above its weight. That's not wrong, but the kind of like the surprise of.
Sleeper.
Yeah, you didn't know what I had in here, and most sleepers have to come in bigger packages than the Vitz, and so it's something. If you have a sense of humor, and you like to laugh at people who have what they think is a faster car than you, and then you end up driving faster than them, it can be a little bit of an ego boost in that respect. But it's for the right type of person, and for me personally, that's the kind of car that I prefer as well. Something that's a little bit unassuming, but is still can perform well. Yeah, I keep coming back to this one. That's cool. I love the angry eyes. Rawr, I'm angry. I also think it's funny to have a fast-looking car that's usually not a fast car. Yeah, so that's what's happening with it. I don't know what we're going to do with prices yet. I'd have to take a look at the car in more details first, and I haven't even got a chance to drive it. Do I have any S14s for sale and bring it to the USA? Is that Elizabeth's question?
Elizabeth was
Answer
asking...
me!
I'm answering Elizabeth at the moment. She was asking if we have any vehicle stock. And
Oh,
then
we have
how
3.
much.
We have a turbo Vitz, We have an FC RX-7, and we have a Ford Ka. And I only bought the Ford Ka because I thought it was funny.
Oh, you're laughing, so it worked.
Haha! Look at this joke. It's funny. Ford Ka is a car that we don't have in Canada, and so to other people in other countries, it's not as funny as it is for me. And so, yeah, it's
the adverts are funny though.
not safe for work adverts. Yeah, if you want to see, I don't think that they're real ads.
No.
I think that they were made by Ford for the purpose of viral marketing before viral marketing was a thing. And so, yeah. Ford Ka? The Fiesta is called the Ka in some markets, or is that a different car? It is different, isn't it? That is actually really cool. I like that. I like that. Did they make a convertible Ka? I also like the Ford Puma. These are cars that we didn't get. All the best Fords didn't ever come to Canada or America. Oh, look at that ugly goodness. It actually looks cool there.
Let's see what you're on.
They made the Mercury Cougar, which has similar looking style. Cougar, stupid version. No, I found only cool ones. You'd think if I type in stupid version, we would find the stupid one. This is the one. We've actually sold one of these. Someone found one in Japan and bought it, and we exported it.
Wow.
It's really incredibly cheap feeling. I was very surprised because Mercury is supposed to be a brand that's in between Ford and Lincoln. They're supposed to be kind of an upmarket vehicle, but it felt like a cheaper version of like a front-wheel drive Ford from that era. I always thought that the styling was cool when I was younger, but that was before I knew that they're just not very good cars. And it puts me into a strange position too when we buy cars that I personally don't think are cool cars. I still, I'm caught in between saying this is a stupid car and congratulations, customer, you own a new car. Usually it's not a big deal, but there are some cars that I'm just like, why did the manufacturers think this was a good thing, and why do people still want it as a car? But at the same time, customers are free to, I like a lot of cars that the general population doesn't like. I like a turbo Vitz, and I know a lot of sports car people would be like, you're an idiot. You like that car. You like stupid cars now. Oh, that looks good. The problem with muscle cars, though, is that you need to invest a lot of time into learning muscle cars before you even get a sliver of the information on them, and so it's intimidating getting into it. It's like if you want to start editing videos or something and you get the most powerful video editing program and then you're like, there are too many options, I don't understand what I'm doing here. Or Photoshop can be like that to new people. That's the way that muscle cars are to me. There's just too much there, and because they change every year for a lot of models, subtle differences, and a lot of the cars to me look the same. I wouldn't be able to pick them out. Like a Mercury Marquis, I guess. I don't know. It is cool though. American cars are interesting to me. Gremlin and Pacer. There's the Pacer. Yes, I love how when you find a Gremlin picture, a Pacer picture is always nearby. And in this case, we also got an Aztec. These are the three worst cars.
What?
In America. People always say these
Really?
are the three ugliest cars in America. I think
I like the Gremlin.
I think Pacer is the number one. Where did I hear this recently? Oh, I think it was in regular car reviews. They were talking about, they did an Aztec review, and he said that the Pacer was number one ugliest car, the Aztec was number two, and then the Gremlin was number three. And then the Gremlin and the Pacer are kind of the same car because they're both AMC cars.
Oh, I don't like the back. But
Yeah,
the
right?
Gremlin, yeah. It's got a cool name.
But this is also the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World. Bohemian Rhapsody. You know?
Wayne's World?
How old are you? I'm sorry, Mike.
I'm 4.
That was rude of me. I'm sorry. It's of my generation. One of the biggest points in pop culture was a scene from the movie Wayne's World, and they're singing the Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody, in the car.
Oh.
While they're driving.
I haven't watched the movie in a long time, but now I think I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blonde-haired guy's driving, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
The blonde-haired guy. I'm gonna take another question. Doug DeMuro did one on the Aztec as well. I love Doug DeMuro videos. Kevin Machida. I love them. They are so fun to watch. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just.
I love Doug's character because he's like, yeah, look at me, I'm reviewing cars. That's my impression of him. I'm wearing shorts in this video. I love how when he says a joke that is like not funny, and then he like waits for people to laugh, but it's a video, so nobody's going to laugh.
He gets to drive sweet rides though. Someone was also asking if the fuel in Canada is okay for imported vehicles.
For the most part, yes. In Canada, even though the octane rating in Japan is higher than in Canada, most cars aren't going to have problems with that. But if you get a car that's modified, then like usually the way that it works is a car has set parameters for which it's okay for the fuel, and it's not going to damage the engine. But when you modify a car, you kind of stretch that out and get closer to the limit. And then if you use higher or lower octane fuel in a car that's been modified, then you have a chance to pre-detonate. What's your favorite car from Fast and the Furious 1? Mine is the Eclipse GSX, Brian. I don't know. I watched that like within a few months of me getting my first car, the first Fast and the Furious. I went to the movie theater, and everybody drove like an idiot out of the movie theater.
Oh, yes.
But the police didn't know that at that time that Fast and the Furious movies were going to elicit that sort of response.
Yeah.
And so it was really crazy. And then the next year, on the premiere, they always had police waiting for people to act like idiots on the way out.
I forgot about that, but you're absolutely right. That happened after every single Fast and Furious movie that I went and saw.
Yeah?
Yeah, because everyone would go there, like the movie theater that was pretty popular, and they would all park their cars, and it was kind of like a mini car meet.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Like they're watching the movie, and getting all revved up, and as soon as they get out, they got to make that release.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I've got a car.
I wonder what it was like when adult movie theaters were a thing. I bet it would have been similar.
Adult movie theaters were a thing?
Before VHS?
What?
There was no way to watch adult videos until there was VHS, like at your home, until it was available on VHS.
I didn't even think
VHS came in like what, the early 80s, like, or late 70s maybe, and so that's why 70s adult videos are always so well produced, because people would have to pay to go see them in the theater.
What?
But I think there's a comparison there, like the people want to get out of the movie theater and go.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But that's a strange place to be watching.
I think that's like. Movie theaters may not have been as popular as they are today if that weren't a thing. Maybe. I don't know.
Thank you, 70s adult videos.
Yes. Also VHS beat Betamax because of that. Because Betamax was made by Sony, and then they're like, we don't want smut on our videotapes. And so VHS was like, we do.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, Betamax, superior technology, or adult videos.
Yeah, that's an easy decision.
I find it so interesting because, like, in my day and age, there was no internet pornography, right? And so if you wanted to go watch it, you had to go rent the video from the video store.
Wow.
Which causes a problem because you need to admit to the person across the counter that you're interested in,
whatever it is that you're interested in. Leave that up to the imagination.
A lot of people don't know this, but Snoop Dogg, right? So he had his own adult video.
Wow. Okay.
That he starred in, but he didn't participate in.
Right.
And it's really, really
like
funny.
Planet Earth?
Huh?
Planet Earth?
I don't know.
Like that, where it's just narrating an adult?
No. I know because I rented it.
Right.
They have a Snoop Dogg scene, which is him smoking weed, and then girls twerking and stuff, and they're not wearing any clothes. And then there was the adult video scene, and they're completely separate, and it went one, like that. So it was a little bit weird, but it's called. Maybe I shouldn't even say the name of it.
Yeah,
if you
let's
want,
skip past
you
the
can go.
name.
You
Yeah.
can go Google it. But like, so that's the only adult video I ever rented, and I had to build up the courage because
That's funny though.
Snoop Dogg, like in the late '90s, was a huge deal, and the fact
Yeah.
that somebody who is at the top of like the charts is also making adult videos, and so
Yeah.
me and my friends, we gotta see this.
Yeah.
And so I go to the counter and I very like I put it into the bag and I walk around pretending like I'm looking at other things in the movie theater store until I build up enough courage to go to the counter, and then I put it on the counter, and then the girl there, she's like not that much older than me, maybe young 20s,
Yeah.
and she's like, because I was just old enough to finally be able to rent this kind of movie too, and she's like, and she said the title of it, which I don't feel like saying right now. And all the other people in line behind me are like,
Oh, really?
that guy.
You should have just been like, yeah, and I've been waiting a long time to rent this.
It actually hadn't been that long because it wasn't an old movie at that time. That's my, Why don't we get back on topic here?
There's been quite a bit of discussion about the R34 and prices and how it relates to the USA. People are thinking, I don't.
That's a difficult question to answer at the moment. So the R34 is going to be legal. Well, it started in January of '99, and so we're still like 5 years out. Is that right?
Yeah, about that.
About that. Let's see. It's going to be 2019 next year. So 94s are available in 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. 5 years. Like how I did my math. I use the finger calculator.
Yeah.
And
you need to go to 11.
and so obviously when it becomes legal, people in the US are going to want to buy them, but they are very much different cars than the earlier Skyline GT-Rs, because they made the R34 in such few numbers compared to them, and in general people prefer the R34 over the other generations of the car much more. We actually don't have any of them for sale. That's weird. No Skyline GT-Rs for sale at the moment. We'll just put up this one for now. And then because of the lower production numbers and because of... I thought that this was USS. I didn't check first. My brain is ready to explode. Yeah, the...
Is that how cool this is?
I think this is a cool car.
Yeah.
I like the 4 doors.
Drift kit.
And so how is it going to affect the prices? I don't know. I think a lot of people are not sure about this. At the moment... the GTRs are going for between 3 million yen and like 8 million yen for most of them. Some of them touch 10 million. And so 3 million is about 25,000 US dollars, and maybe they go up to about 50,000 US dollars or so for the regular ones. And this is a big step up from about 5 years ago when you can get them for maybe half that price. And so before the US market is even touching them, we're having a lot of movement in the prices of these. And most of this comes down to the fact that they didn't make very many. I'm thinking something like 11,000 of them or something.
I think it's 11,500.
How many R34 GT-Rs were made?
They do have on the Wikipedia page, they've got a breakdown of how many were produced and which models and everything, like the V-specs.
Cool. So, 5th generation? No. 4th generation? No. 5th, yes. Okay, so, oh man, this is not easy to read.
The total was
Total 11,577. And then compare that to the R32, where I think they made something like 80,000 or something.
Really?
60,000? I know it was many, many more. They made mostly the R32s and then a middle amount of R33s and very few R34s. So they didn't make many of them. There's a lot of worldwide demand for them, so obviously the price is going to go up. But at which point does the majority of the population say, no, that's too expensive for me? And as they're going, like maybe that point is right here at 100,000 US dollars, right? And they're on their way up to 100,000, and they may even pass that before they become legal to the USA. And so when that happens, I don't think a lot of people are going to be importing them. I think that some tuning shops are going to import them, and some rich collectors are going to import them, and some people who have more money than they know what to do with are going to import them, and they're going to pay a big, hefty price for that. But I think the general population is going to be very far removed from those, in the same way that we see now with like McLarens and Lamborghinis and cars like that.
Yeah.
And plus, by the time they're 25 years old, they're going to be such old cars that it's going to also be hard to find them. Like, there's going to be bad condition ones taking the majority of them. Well, let me rephrase that. As they get older, you're going to see more poor condition ones and more good condition ones, but because this is a sought after car at this point, most people will be keeping them in better condition because they've spent more money on them already. And so if somebody buys a car for $50,000, they'll take better care of it than somebody who spent $2,000 on a car.
Yeah.
That said, some people don't know how to take care of a car, or they just leave it and something breaks, so there will be some in the lower range, but compared to other cars, yeah.
The longer time goes past, the more they're just going to perish.
I wonder how many of these original 12,000 are still on the road.
Yeah.
It's always been an expensive car, and so there's always going to be value in keeping them on the road, even if they were in severe accidents. But like, compare this to the 8.6, like the AE86 Toyota Sprinter Truno, probably about 90 to 95% of those have been in accidents now. And the Hakosuka Skyline is like that. About 90% have been in accidents. And so I think you'll see the same thing with the R34. I think it's a more capable car, which may lead to fewer accidents, but you never really know. A more capable car can also meet higher speeds, and the weakest link of the chain is going to be the driver with that car. And drivers can drive unrealistic speeds for road conditions. And so
it's crazy that there are R34 GT-Rs, and not even like just V-specs and things that are more expensive than R35s. Like often more expensive.
Mm-hmm. You think that's weird? How many R35s did they make?
I'd love to know.
They're still making them, right?
Yeah. I mean, they've been making them for 10 years.
Oh man, look at all this stuff here. I don't want to read this all. Making them for 10 years so far. Do we have a total? We don't have a total, but it looks like production numbers are quite similar. More R35s though. Wow, almost 5,000 of them in Japan in basically the first year.
Wow.
And then they haven't been making them in Japan from 2014. Maybe it's because the auctions are full of them. When you go to the auction, there's always like 30 of them for sale at any one time. It seems like a good performance car to get for your money right now. And yes, the R34s are going to be worth more than the 35s for sure. For at least 15 or 20 years, maybe even more, I would suspect. So yeah, nobody really knows what the prices are going to be like. Some people are deciding to buy them now and wait, but you're waiting a really long time for a car that you buy. And you know, in that time, you would be losing the opportunity to drive another car that you bought. So I don't know if for some people it would be a good idea. You can save maybe $30,000 if you buy it 5 years early, but then you get no utility out of your money. Jordan Fleming says, any GCWRXs? Yeah, we talked about one right at the beginning of the stream. There are usually lots of them. I think there's like 14 or something at auction today. Jeff Kane. Hey, Jeff. Derek bought a GZ20 Soarer twin turbo through you some years back. I've since sold it and looking to get a late SW20 MR2. Do you have any storage terms for your new yard? Our new yard is not really a new yard. It's basically put the cars in for pictures and then ship them out immediately. We have enough room for 21 cars in it only. And usually we try to get rid of the cars as quick as possible. We don't accept any cars in there for storage for customers. We just don't have the space for it. we always have at least that many cars coming in and leaving at any one moment. SW20 is a good car. I don't know. I like the Soarer better than the MR2, but I can see why somebody would like the MR2 better. I don't like mid-engine cars very much, though. It always feels like I'm right about to die, but you don't feel like you're about to die. It's like if somebody stabbed you with a spoon for like an hour, you know you would die, and it's going to be very painful for you, and so you get a lot of time in preparation for your death. But if they made you drink pills that killed you, then you wouldn't get that feeling of death right before it happened. So the MR2, it's very capable, but as soon as you pass that line of your capabilities, you don't have very much warning for that. And then it's like, surprise, I've crashed. And I don't want to drive a car that's like that. I want my car to let me know well before so that I can dial it back a bit. Yeah. So I can go grab a knife and I can be like, you can't beat me at a spoon war if I've got a knife.
Take that car.
Do you have an FD for sale? No, and I'm not going to buy any FDs. The FD is a car that's
difficult.
Yeah, that's an expert level car. If you're dealing in FDs, then you either know what you're doing or you're foolish. And if you know what you're doing, there's money for you there. Why do you hate Smart 4.2s? I've never driven one. I can't say that I hate a Smart 4.2. I don't think that it's a good car, and I've heard from plenty of journalists that it's a terrible car. Mostly because of the transmission, which I've driven the same transmission in other cars, and I don't like it. It's a manual transmission that automatically switches gears for you through a computerized system, and it is a very harsh and unpleasant transmission to drive. In the other cars that I've driven it in, and I heard the Smart 4.2 is the worst because you're combining that really, really bad transmission with really poor fuel economy in a car that's that size. You're limited to only 2 seats, and with a short wheelbase, hard suspension, it's a very tough ride. And so I think all those things together kind of lead people to not like the car. On the other hand, the car is mostly sold on styling, and so in that case, if you're going just for a certain styling and it's a look that you like, maybe that can compensate for a lot of the things that are bad about the car, because they didn't make a good car. So, I don't know. The new ones might be better than that. I don't know. I've been in a date's smart car shivers. Sorry, Bill. I'm very sorry about that.
Traumatic experience.
I saw that Flavian's in the chat. I'm going to make it a thing to make sure that I mention anyone that I know. Flavian says something is super rewarding, though. I think he's talking about the FDs. Yeah, but your shop specializes in RX-7s, and so you know better than everybody else. Why are the FDs hard to deal with? I thought with the demand they would be worth huge amounts due to JDM fanboys at the moment. The problem is most of them are in bad condition, and you don't really know that they're in bad condition compared to other cars. Usually you can get a good, like if you take a look at auction sheets, you can get a good idea of the condition of the car.
An RX-7 if you'd like one, an FD.
Yeah, bring up an FD.
Yep. CAA Tokyo 30506. This is a 2001.
And so typically the way that I take a look at the cars is of course I'll take a glance at the pictures, and that will give me a good idea of what the car looks like. This sheet is much more important on the condition of the car than the pictures are, because pictures can very easily hide damage on it. For example, this hood here, you can tell that there's faded paint on it, but P3 is very badly faded paint. You wouldn't be able to restore that, and so you wouldn't be able to know that without looking at the sheet. But anyways, with most cars you can kind of assume that the engine is going to be in fairly good condition, and then the car, based on what type of car it is, you can kind of understand the level of wear that the car has. For example, a Land Cruiser usually takes about 20 years before it starts to fall apart, and an FD usually takes about 15 years, in some cases less, before it starts falling apart. And you have to compile your knowledge of the condition of the car together with how the market has enjoyed this car over the last history. And what I mean by that is cars usually fluctuate in prices. Usually they'll start off expensive, and they'll start going down, and then they'll reach a point at the bottom, and then they'll start coming up again, and then that point at the bottom, whatever that price point is, dictates the condition that that car is going to continue to stay in. So if it's already a car that kind of breaks down pretty easily, these had very poor condition dashboard and consoles from stock, prone to cracking, prone to becoming loose and squeaking, seats kind of prone to ripping, seating position that really sucks. I really don't like it. Then it's more likely to get worn out if the price comes down. And then because of the reliability of the rotary engines, it scares a lot of people from buying them. And so we had a car that kind of held its price and then went down really low for a very long time. It was a very cheap car. This one here is probably going to be a little bit expensive, but 10 years ago, this same car may have been about $5,000. This car is now probably around $12,000, I would think, because of the low mileage mostly. I haven't looked over this yet. There were a lot of RX-7s that were selling for $1,000, $1,500. They were generally in pretty good condition. And so because the car was perceived to be such a cheap car and a lot of people could get into it really cheaply, those types of people typically wouldn't take care of their car very well. And because of that, it floods the market with cars that were poorly kept. And with the RX-7, you'll see this more with the early model ones, 92, 93, 94, 95, than you will with the later model ones, because as the FD has been on sale for a very long time, and the people who want to get a good condition FD and actually take care of it, they want the later model ones. And so always the 98, 99 ones were always kept in good condition, and then the early ones, 92, 93, were the ones that cheap car boys would buy and trash. And so the US market right now can only import the 92 and 93, which are overwhelmingly the trash cars that were just left aside by people who didn't really care about them. But the FD has always been an expensive car in the US. And so there's a lot of demand for these cars. People are willing to pay a lot of money, so people want to import them. They're stuck with these trash ones, and so 80 to 90% of the ones that you can buy are not going to be in good condition. But then they look like they're a target car because low purchase price, which isn't that low anymore, high sales price, and so people get into them not knowing how much of a problem that they could potentially be. And because so many people want to get them, and there aren't very many 92, 93s that have lasted this long in good condition, people will buy anything because they need to get those RX-7s because they're hoping for that big payout. They get the cars and they turn out to be not in very good condition because of unreliable engines, poor condition interiors, and not very well kept over time. And that last one is particularly painful for the RX-7 because this engine doesn't like to be not serviced properly. And so I think the RX-7, more than most cars out there, it's just a bundle of snakes that you put your hand in and they're going to bite you, and you're like, wow, I've been poisoned. I'm going to keep putting my hand in this in this bag of snakes. I don't think that it's a good idea, and I wouldn't buy one of these cars if it was my own money on the line, if I couldn't see it in person myself. And as I said, there's the exception in this. If you know rotary cars, you have experience with them, then you have a step above the competition. This can therefore be profitable for you. And so I'm not ruling it out completely, but for me, I think it would be too much to go for.
I did also realize it's an automatic. So that changed my mind.
Automatic RX-7s are funny. I think overwhelmingly the people who want the RX-7s, the FDs, are going to want the manual transmission ones, but I've driven an automatic Cosmo, which is basically like a luxury version of this. I was very surprised by how nice the engine felt with the automatic transmission. I was expecting a low torque, high RPM engine to be terrible with an automatic, but it actually felt pretty nice. And the automatic NSXs are really popular. There would be a buyer for an automatic RX-7, so I wouldn't be too worried about buying one with an auto, even though a limited market.
And we are over time as well.
Oh, we're after 11. Oh man, I talked too much about FDs.
Woo!
How do you talk with a Canadian accent? You finish your sentences with A. If you guys have been watching me, I've probably done it. I get said that to, like, people tell me all the time that I say that. Cosmo is not only the 20B. Actually, only like 2,500 of them came with the 20B. Most of them came with the 13B. Okay, gotta go, guys. I'm sorry. I want to hang out with you more, but I can't. I have to go Christmas shopping now. So time to say goodbye. Everybody say thank you to Mike for joining us on this. Thank you, Mike. That was my rendition of people in the chat. That's what they all sound like in my head.
Chorus of
Mike, thank you.
You're welcome. No worries.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Westside1207. Thank you, OCK0137. Thank you, Seaver1080. Thank you, Elizabeth. I got to answer a lot of your questions. You're super lucky. You didn't even have to pay me anything. This is an hour of my time, and I demand payment next time. Sniper87T2, John Clark. Bill Courtney is here every time. OKC, thank you. Cheers, Mike. Bye-bye, Derek and Mike. See you later next time. Thanks, y'all. I love people that say y'all. Even if they're mean people, I'm going to love you anyway. Bye. Have fun. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you again, and we are off.